What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Joe's Madness. If you're new to the channel and have a passion for combat sports, punch that subscribe button into submission. And if you enjoy this video, make sure to take a moment and slap that like button like a pimp. Share the video with your family and friends and all over the internet if you want. And let me know down below in the comment section, do you agree with my prediction? Do you disagree with it? Which fighter are you going for? And how do you think they're going to win? This is going to be a very fun fight with these two women collide at UFC Fight Night 111 in Singapore on June 17, 2017. I'm extremely looking forward to it. When they announced this fight, I was like, yes, Holly is going to be going back on a run as she is going against Bethe Correia. That I heard people saying her name is Batcha. I'm like, what the hell, Batcha? There's no A in her name. So for me, it's Bethe Correia, I call her, and we got Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter versus the pitbull. Can the preacher's daughter defeat the pitbull, or will the pitbull bite the preacher's daughter and win? And not like literally bite her, like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield bite, but you know what I mean? Because the pitbull is a dog, so. But not all pit bulls bite. I've known pit bulls that haven't bitten me, and there's some that want to like chew on my hand like a chew toy. But anyways, I am going with Holly Holm to win this one by KO TKO by the third round. It is possible that after the first round that Holly will make the adjustments she needs to, and she will pop off an awesome knockout victory in the second round. But I believe it'll go to the third round, and she will pick up a KO TKO victory over Bethe Correia. Most likely a TKO with a referee stoppage, but they could be a clean cut, straight up walk-off knockout for Holly Holm, where she, I feel, has a superior boxing style and kicking style than Bethe Correia. Correia, I feel that for her to win, she would have to somehow get Holly to the ground and end up submitting her. And that would be Bethe's first actual submission victory, as she's never submitted anyone. So I really don't even see that as an actual feasible, thing happening. It is possible, but I believe Holly Holm will be the second woman to knock out Correia, as Correia was knocked out by Ronda Rousey at UFC 190 by KO. Before that, Bethe was on a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC, but she had never lost before losing to Ronda, which was a 9-fight win streak, if my math is correct. In the UFC, she had a split decision win at UFC Fight Night 33 in 2013 over Julie Cadades, and then she beat Jasmina Duke by UFC 172 by unanimous decision. She picked up a TKO victory in the second round at UFC 177 over Shayna Baszler, and then she fought Ronda and got knocked out by Ronda in the title fight for the Women's Bantamweight Championship. Then she returned at UFC on Fox 19, lost by split decision against Raquel Pennington. She is one badass fighter. Then she went against Jessica Evil Eye at UFC 203 and beat her by split decision, and I thought that was a bullshit split decision win for her. I thought Jessica Eye won that fight. And then she went against Mario Reneau at UFC on UFC Fight Night 106, and it was a majority draw. I was like, what? I thought that Reneau had done enough to win that one. I was surprised. That was crazy. Now for Holly Holm, she is on a 3-fight losing streak, but when she came to the UFC, she was undefeated, and then she went on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC, so she was 10-0 until she fought Miesha Tate, but she defeated Raquel Pennington at UFC 184 by split decision. She defeated Mario Reneau at UFC Fight Night 71 by unanimous decision. She was the first woman to defeat Ronda Rousey, and that was an amazing head kick knockout by Holly Holm over Ronda Rousey to claim the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship at UFC 193. Then she went against Miesha Tate Cupcake at UFC 196, and she was defeated by rear naked choke in the 5th round, and that was an insane fight. Then she went against Valentina Shevchenko at UFC on Fox 20 and lost to her by unanimous decision in a 5-round war. Then she went against Germaine de Rondemy at UFC 208 for the inaugural women's featherweight championship and lost to her by unanimous decision. When Rundemy won that fight, I was happy because I thought we would get to see her defend the title against Cyborg. And then she turns around and is like, oh, I injured my hand, I need to have surgery or something. And then ever since then, she's been running away, and she even wants to forfeit the title apparently and vacate it so Cyborg can fight somebody else to be crowned the women's featherweight title instead of being, you know, instead of being the warrior gladiator and fighting Cyborg. And you never know what can happen, and when you're inside the octagon, you always have a chance unless you've already given up before the fight's even happened. And somehow, you know, it should be Holm should have actually won that fight, and then she'd be fighting Cyborg instead of Bethe Correia, the Pitbull. But now we have her versus her. We have the number 5 ranked fighter in the women's bantamweight division, Holm, versus the number 11th ranked fighter, Bethe Correia, and I believe Holm is going to knock her out in the third round. So that is where things are at, you know, and now we're waiting to hear what's happening with the women's featherweight division. You know, Cyborg is apparently going to be fighting at UFC 214 against an unnamed opponent, I think. You know, so we're waiting to hear who she's going to be fighting, you know, and what, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully they figured some kind of way to get Jermaine D. Rundemy to fight Cyborg for the women's featherweight championship, you know, so that way at least we'll have legitimacy more to it by Cyborg kicking our ass. So we'll see what happens. You know, Holm is an awesome fighter. I'm a fan of hers through thick and thin, regardless of the 3-fight losing streak. I've always liked Holly, even though I did go for Jermaine at UFC 208. You know, I just saw something there that made me pick Jermaine over Holly back then, you know, so we will see. But, you know, I picked Holly over Tate and Holly over Shevchenko, from what I recall. I believe those predictions are here on Joe's Madness, formerly known as Joe's Commentary and Predictions, formerly known as Colonel Jack's Destination and Crazy Joe's Galaxy. We're sticking here at Joe's Madness for now on, because it's madness in combat sports. It's awesome. I love it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to take a moment. What is going on? Okay, take a moment and slap that like button like a pimp. Share this video with your family and friends. And if you're new to the channel or returning viewer and haven't yet, make sure to punch that subscribe button into submission here at Joe's Madness on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Combat sports is awesome, and you guys are amazing.